Did Vaughn really tell you that Melly told him that he was two friends?
He ain't come out and say, like, we got into an argument. And so, you know, if you know, when people could say something without saying it.
The PC Gambino account asked him if he was okay, and his response was, I did that, and placed a smiley face emoji.
Like, they raid your crib and the surveillance footage of the is in your DVD player. They be like, oh, okay, thank you, brother. This can't be at your crib.
New footage of YNW Melly committing a crime inside a jail changed his case forever. The only reason he was not found guilty in his first trial was due to his girlfriend Mariah Hamilton escaping the United States and not testifying. However, she just came back into the country.
Mariah Hamilton is spending her first day at the Broward County Jail. She has no arrest record until now. U.S. Border Patrol agents arrested her at Miami International Airport Monday after she arrived on an international flight. Court records show Hamilton was ordered to testify in Demon's first trial in 2023.
As the judge made a deal with Mariah, saying if you agree to testify against Melly, then you're free to go. She accepted it instantly to get out of jail, which is terrible news for YNW Melly, as she knows exactly what happened to Sack Chaser and Juvie, which is why Melly forced her to leave the country. But this also raises one more charge. This is known as witness tampering, as Melly used jail phones to call her repeatedly to leave the country.
The state filing 6 new charges against Demons and 2 others who were allegedly involved. The charges include tampering with a witness, directing the activities of a criminal, solicitation or conspiracy to commit tampering, and unlawful use of a two-way communication device. Now, a couple of those charges actually carry a life in prison sentence if there's a conviction.
So because she actually did leave the United States and did not show up to Melly's first trial, YNW Melly will now be charged with witness tampering, which is a separate case from his existing one of Sack Chaser and Juvie's passing. This carries a life sentence in prison regardless if Melly actually did the first crime. But here's where it gets very concerning. The jail has not allowed Melly to use a phone for several months, meaning they have the evidence against him. Even his mother had to go on to a live interview to expose the county jail.
My son has not been convicted of anything, and even other inmates that have been convicted or anything, they have the right to use a telephone. They have a right to just to be allowed to write letters to their loved ones, to receive their mail. They hold his mail, they don't give it to him.
As the county jail wouldn't just keep Melly off of the jail phones, which is a crime, if they didn't have the evidence that he used it for witness tampering stored away. That would result in a massive lawsuit, which could result in Melly being released from jail. So with Mariah now going against YNW Melly, things got even worse. Because with Mariah now being announced to go into the trial and testify, YNW Portland's lawyers announced there's no reason to go to trial for him. He's ready to snitch on YNW Melly, which is why they're now being tried in September trial together.
Mr. Henry is going to remain set for trial September the 10th at 9 o'clock with Mr. Demons, pending whatever future motion that I may hear. I'm in another capital case right now. I have 4 hearing dates left available between now and September the 10th. I gave the parties those 4 dates, and I'm holding all of those dates and times open only for these 2 defendants. So anything that you need me for, okay?
Yes, sir.
As the news wrote, at the beginning of Wednesday's hearing, Judge Martin Fiend, Bortland's attorney, said, so Mr. Haddad, for the time being, Mr. Henry is going to remain set for trial on September 10th with YNW Melly. This couldn't be worse for him. The prosecutors will force Bortland to snitch, as the wheels are already in motion. The news wrote, a no communication order has been filed in the YNW Melly trial. The order makes Melly and Bortland completely separate. No talking, no lawyer talk, just silence. As a lawyer explained why Bortland will snitch.
Issue here, and you can try them together. It is to the benefit of the state to try them together. It just more efficient. You don't have to do things again and again. Do it all at once, and also you get a better chance of having them incriminate each other during the trial. It benefits the defense to sever it. That way they can point the finger at each other and get away with it. So this is what's going on. But I don't think it should be automatically severed because the state is seeking a penalty for Melly, because it's only the penalty phase of the trial that would be different, not the guilt phase. The guilt phase is the same. They're both capital crimes. You're seeking the penalty on one, not the other, but that goes into the second part of the trial, the penalty phase, only if Melly is found guilty.
If Bortlen knows that he didn't commit this serious crime, he won't physically be able to sit there and just take life in prison to the chin, making it very likely he'll then just point the finger against Melly, similar to how Melly did against Bortlen in the first trial. What you didn't know is that Melly and Bortlen have not been on friendship terms since the original trial. This is because Melly's lawyer tried pinning it already on Bortlen.
Those were his lies. Cortland Henry shows up at Memorial Hospital, Miramar. You don't see him sitting there, but where you will see him sitting is in the driver's seat of a car with two bodies, car riddled with bullets. And when he shows up with a change of clothing, change of shirt, powder residue on his hands, evidencing that he had discharged a firearm. And he lies. He lies about where the incident occurred. He lies about how it occurred. And he lies about not having a phone. I think it was Miss Bradley herself who said, everybody has a phone in his pocket, not Cortland Henry.
As that is Melly's own lawyer, revealing that it was Bortlen lying to the feds, it was Bortlen with powder residue on his hands, and he was the last one with Juvie and Sackchaser when they passed. They even went as far as to bringing a forensic scientist that covered the passings to go into further detail of Bortlen having the powder residue on his hands.
So the right hand of Cortland Henry contained 0 particles characteristic of residue and two component particles, and the left hand contained 1 particle characteristic of residue and 1 2-component particle.
Okay. And can you explain to us what that means?
Basically, overall, there was residue present on the hands.
As Bortlen didn't like this at all, which is why when Melly's mistrial was granted, a report shared, YNW Bortlen tweets a mysterious message on the same day Melly's mistrial was declared. The tweet reads, "Mind games don't work on people like me," alongside a handshake emoji as if he's accepting some sort of deal. But what confirms it all is what was found in YNW Bortlen's house gives him every reason now to just snitch on Melly, take a lesser sentence, and be on his way.
Melly's co-defendant YNW Bortlen was booked into a Miami jail Monday night and is being held behind bars on an out-of-county warrant. We just confirmed the warrant is out of Broward County for witness tampering. The warrant obtained by Law and Crime Network states as follows. On or about April 10, 2023, continuing through and including July 22, 2023, Cortland Henry, aka Bortlen, along with others, did unlawfully and knowingly engage in misleading conduct toward another person with the intent to cause or induce them to withhold testimony. The warrant continues the alleged witness had been summoned by the legal process to the jury trial of Jamel Dimmons, aka YNW Melly. The dates in the warrant are important. Jury selection for Melly started in mid-April, and a judge declared a mistrial on July 22nd, the same day the warrant claims Bortlen allegedly tampered with the witness.
As it was announced by Bryson Paul, here are the images of alleged notes discovered during the home raid of YNW Bortlen's home last week as filed into the Broward clerks. As there's photos here of Bortlen detailing on paper where certain jurors were sitting during the Melly trial with a description of what they looked like. As right before Melly's lawyers started throwing incriminating evidence against Bortlen to the jury, it looked like Bortlen was getting ready to slide for Melly on these jurors if they found him guilty.
To keep it real, this is sloppy. Bortlen, how the f you gonna have the notebook of the jurors in your house? Holy sh! Like, come the f on. It's like doing a and having the surveillance tape in your DVD player or something like that. You know what I mean? Like, come on, bro. Like they raid your crib and the surveillance footage of the is in your DVD player. They be like, oh, okay, thank you, brother. This can't be at your crib.
When this was all announced in court that Bortlen would be tried with Melly and that there's a no communication order, meaning Bortlen is likely making a deal with the feds, Melly got very angry, visibly yelling at his lawyers. As the news wrote, today's hearing marks the first time YNW Melly publicly went against his legal team's advisement in open court, as Melly was seen yelling at his lawyers.
Yes, sir.
Against our advice, our client wants to proceed.
You objected to their request for me to determine this automatic stay.
Based upon what our client has instructed us, yes, sir.
As the evidence they're arguing about is YNW Melly's team association. There's one piece of evidence they want to use against Melly. This is a Facebook post of YNW Melly with Young Thug. They're trying to say that Melly is a part of the Red Street team just like Young Thug is, and the Facebook post confirms it.
Same thing, the use of the slap term, 5-point star, snake. He's saying he's YSL, he's hanging with him. And he puts up his YNW for life hashtag on it with Mr. Demons has big B hand signs displayed.
Okay, and see with individuals again, I'm assuming that's also Young Thug. That's also unknown.
Yes.
Also important to your investigation, correct?
Yes.
Also publicly available for anyone to see and capture.
As Melly is seen yelling at his lawyers, people inside of the courtroom overheard what Melly said, where he said in quote, "I don't care, I'm not in no gang, they can't prove that."
I'm aware that 924-071 call for an automatic stay while
they were aggravators. They go to membership in a gang. There are things that the jury would have to find before going into penalty.
Not aggravator, that's the death penalty. Aggravator, that's the gang enhancement itself, Your Honor. That was charged. He was charged in committing the murder for the furtherance of the gang, which is an aggravator in terms of the guilt.
Something that they would have to find by way of an interrogatory.
Yes.
The one reason Melly does not care if the evidence is included is because if his lawyers do get that evidence thrown out, the paperwork that comes alongside that will make the trial begin in 2027. This means that YNW Melly will have been sitting in jail for 9 years before ever being convicted.
I do find this case to be under the most compelling circumstances. Mr. Demons, as I sit here today, has been in custody for 2,339 days. Besides Mr. Demons' cases, which I've removed, this division currently has 38 other cases, special set for trial. 22 of those are murder cases. Numerous of those are death cases. And right now, this division has trial special set in December of 2026.
However, the state, they want to bring all the evidence they can to trial so they can ensure Melly gets sentenced to life inside a prison.
And finally, Judge, just so, again, the record's clear, what this, given Judge Murphy's order, and there would be an intent to comply with it, what the court is compelling the state to do is to go forward with evidence that has been suppressed. In other words, we would not be able to use that evidence.
You can't.
Right.
It's suppressed. That's exactly correct.
As of now, the attorneys could go to the appellant court and request that they issue a stay or place a hold on the trial, and that seems to be the only way that this trial does not move forward on the scheduled date. So if that doesn't happen, Melly trial number 2 will begin in about 2 months.
As this would get the attention of YNW Melly's mother, who would then go on Instagram Live with the final decision on when the trial will begin, plus a possible release date.
Basically what happened today is the judge has said we are not delaying trial. We will be going to trial September 10th, even though there's things that's up with the 4th DCA that has been ruled to be suppressed and not able to be used in the upcoming trial. The judge is just upholding those orders. So therefore, all of the, basically what was up on appeal was all of that stuff, what they were using as an enhancer in order to get the penalty qualified. The judge ordered all of that to be suppressed. So moving forward onto the new trial, the state will not be able to bring in that evidence.
As at the end of the hearing, Melly's lawyers would ask for a bond release until trial in September, which means the prosecutors can give a reason as to why he shouldn't, which is when they shared the evidence of Melly sending a text message hours after the crime saying, "I did that."
The PC Gambino account asked him if he was okay, and his response was, "I did that," and placed a smiley face emoji.
And the next message from 10/26/2018 at 16:02 from Eastern Standard Time. The YNW Melly count says what?
After that, SHHHH.
As with how severe that evidence looks, the news wrote, YNW Melly's reaction after not receiving a bond in his double M case, he's now been in jail for 2,320 days without a guilty verdict. While he would be denied his bond, there was one massive win for YNW Melly, which has now resulted in a possible release date. To understand when, it's important to understand that an FBI agent took the stand. He specializes in cell phone data research. As the report shared, YNW Melly's lawyers questioned FBI agent that did an analysis on Melly's phone at the time of the crime.
Based on the information, you can't really tell the court precisely which locations these phones are following in, can you?
One of the limitations of cellular analysis is that you can only say a general area where the device would be at a particular time.
All right. So even with the general analysis, all of the stuff that we've gone through for about 4 or 5 hours, at the end of the day, you can never give an exact location.
True.
And could you tell if somebody was walking around a car with the phone? Would you be able to tell that?
No.
So it'd be your testimony that this phone, 9807, could be from here to here, correct?
Yes.
This then resulted in a DNA specialist taking the stand. He did research on the items that were found at the scene of the crime, including items that were found inside of the Jeep, which may have been Melly's biggest win so far. It shares, DNA analyst confirms Melly's DNA was not found on multiple items that were recovered at the crime scene.
So going to item number 22. The swab from the Gucci sandals. We're able to compare the profile from Mr. Demons as opposed to the profile developed from those sandals.
I did, and he was excluded.
The stain on the front of the t-shirt, item number 23. We're able to compare Mr. Demons' profile to that.
I did a comparison, and he was again excluded.
What about item number 24, the cutting on the stain of the rear of the t-shirt?
After comparisons were done, he was excluded.
Okay, then on item number 25, the swab of stain from the Air Jordans.
Again, an exclusion.
Going on to item number 26, the swab from the yellow jacket.
An exclusion as well.
And in terms of the item number 27 and 28, the swabs at the Gatorade bottles. What were the results on that?
Those were both exclusions.
As Melly's DNA was found on the car door handle, which is obvious as we all watched him get into the car. As the prosecutors then brought up, knowing Melly did enter the Jeep that they were driving in, why did rapper Fredo Bang pick up YNW Melly when the crime went down, then get him dropped off at a nearby house?
And Chris Thomas are. So what you're also going to find out is while Mr. Devins is out there on the side of the road, 4 in the morning, 4:42 specifically, he sends a drop pin, digital homing beacon to his current location to one of his friends, Frederick Givens. Frederick Givens is also involved in the music industry, and he asked to be picked up. Frederick Givens then, about 11 minutes later, is sent another drop pin where Mr. Demons has moved a couple of meters. What you're going to find out as well, though, is these digital leashes, they have more than just phone calls.
As the concerning part is having YNW Bortland on their side, we'll answer that question. But it'll also answer one more question, which is what is the context of what happened 5 hours after the crime occurred? When it was shared, the prosecutors updated their evidence against YNW Melly. He didn't know he was filmed, admitting to the passing of Sack Chaser and Juvie when Melly and Bortland were filmed dancing in a parking lot 5 hours after the crime happened.
Melly still turned regardless of what happened this early morning. He's still out here being very positive. Turned still. Hey! No, still turned, regardless of what happened. You already know.
These two weren't showing an ounce of sadness for the passing of their two best friends. But what's even worse is Bortland will confirm where YNW Melly was sitting in the Jeep, where surveillance footage shows Melly sitting in the back left seat to get ready for Sack Chaser, Juvie, and Bortland to get in.
Excuse me, you're able to see? Yes, all right.
Because if Borland confirms Melly was sitting there, it would validate the court document that reads, the direction of bullets traveling left to right in the vehicle supports the claim that they originated from the back left seat where Melly was positioned, where YNW Juvie's mother has confirmed Melly was sitting there.
Can you state your name, your full legal name for the jury?
I'm Leon Phillips.
Okay. And are you related to one of the victims in this case?
Yes, I am.
How so?
I'm his mother.
And who is that?
Christopher Thomas.
Ms. Phillips, did you see who entered into the occupants who entered into that gray Jeep?
Yes.
Do you recognize where your son entered that gray Jeep?
Yes.
Which seat, if you can identify for the jury?
He got in the back seat on the right hand side.
Did you recognize the individual that got into the back seat on the left side, the rear driver's side?
Yes.
And who was that individual?
Janelle.
But I want you to comment down below if you believe Melly is guilty or not, and leave a like on the video if you're a fan of his music.